So I wanted to talk about people pleasing. It just came to my head because that's how my brain works. It's like, oh, I'm starting to overthink something. Let's dive deeper. And if you know me at all, I like to talk. So here it is. So I saw something in myself today, and it's not something I'm new to at all in myself, is this desire to people please and make sure that people around me are enjoying their sorry, getting all kinds of emails, are enjoying themselves. Like, I want harmony in my environment around me. So I find myself changing who I am or the way I act to accommodate someone else's happiness. That's part of people pleasing. Maybe you're talking to somebody and you start talking about a story and you notice that they start looking around or they're not engaged with your story anymore. So you start overthinking it and get through the story really fast and miss out all these details. And I used to do this a lot. I'd start telling a story and realize that someone wasn't engaged with it. It wasn't really enthralling. So then I would either make up something to add to it to make it more spicy, or I would just skip through these details just to get to the end of the story so we could move on, because I could sense that they weren't enjoying the topic and the conversation. So there's a certain aspect about that that's good, to be able to change how you're talking to somebody, or manipulate your behavior to keep a peaceful environment. There's definitely good aspects of that. But why should I sacrifice something a story I want to tell, or a concept I want to discuss, or something I want to teach someone, because they're not all the way engaged? It's like changing your idea. I believe in this, but because you're not giving me good body language that's telling me you agree with me, I'm going to change my opinion so that way we have a better connection, because I don't want to have something that you don't agree with. Okay, so that's part of people pleasing. What I noticed this morning, I was teaching a women's awareness and safety class, and it's a great class for teenagers. And we go into a lot of things regarding general safety and paying attention and all the things that teenagers love to hear. Be careful when you do this, and stay off your phone, and a lot of the typical things that you would expect to hear. And then, not to toot our own curriculum, but we definitely go into specific topics that you don't typically hear in self-defense classes. But in any case, some of the teenagers that were in class today, you could tell that me talking about a concept, me talking about something, or explaining that you need to lock your doors when you get in the car, and look around when you get out of the ATM, or whatever it is, and you could see them rolling their eyes, or just kind of getting fidgety, and I've heard this before, it's like a kid in class. So as an instructor, and as somebody who likes to people please, and somebody who wants harmony in their environment, if I have a student in class that's starting to give me the vibe that they're not enjoying themselves, that's a challenge to my ego. That's part of it, I get rewarded for my students being engaged with the topic and what they're learning, and it resonating with them, and they're like, oh yeah, I get that. That gives me so much of a reward, and which is great because it helps me become a better teacher. The hard part about being the teacher and about people pleasing in general is that you can't make everybody happy, and your idea might be freaking awesome. Just because some person, or whoever it is, they don't agree with you, or they don't find it as fascinating as you do, that's okay. You should still be just as fascinated by that topic regardless of someone else's opinion of it. And I think it's important to recognize that everybody thinks differently, everybody lives a different lifestyle, and their values and things that they like or don't like, or find important or not important, is going to be subjective. And it was really hard in that moment when I would, see these these girls in class kind of, shift in their seat a little, like, I'm kind of bored or whatever, and that was hard for me. And that's, like I said, it was a challenge to, I don't know that it would be necessarily it's my ego, because I want to know that I'm doing well. So when I see someone that's not giving me body language, that they're engaged with what I'm talking about and what I'm saying isn't super awesome, then I have a tendency to want to change what I'm saying or devalue what I'm saying. And especially in my class like this, like, that can't happen. Like, the concepts are important, whether you're bored by them or not. I think that they're valuable. That's the reason why I teach what I teach. So in that moment, I found myself having to push through the uncomfortableness of someone not enjoying what I'm talking about, and understand that what I'm talking about is important enough that I need to say it anyway, and their perception of me doesn't matter when it comes to my fundamental beliefs. Now, there's something to consider when it comes to someone challenging your beliefs or your ideas or your morals. One is be open-minded to having a discussion with somebody. I think that you're going to meet all kinds of people and encounter all kinds of situations in your life that you're not super open to them. It's, I know it to be this way, and I don't know what you're talking about, but it doesn't align with my bias, so I know you're wrong. That's called having a confirmation bias, and looking for outside validation that confirming what you're saying or believing is acceptable. And that's kind of what I was looking for with class today. It's like, I'm telling you these things. A lot of people know and heard, some of the concepts that we talk about, and it's really rewarding when people are like, that's right. Like, man, how did I not notice that, or something like that. That's huge. That's a huge reward for me. But I need to be okay with, someone not believing what I'm saying. And I also need to be okay with someone challenging what I'm saying, and be open-minded enough to consider that, my bias is just my bias, and someone else's interpretation or understanding of whatever concept it is has value too. So don't worry about so much what other people think, but consider the aspect of allowing yourself to be challenged to come out on the other side with the right information. Okay, like, so the sky is blue, and then Susie comes in and says, no, the sky is red. I'm like, no, it's blue. But no, it's red because of the sun coming through the clouds this way, and blah blah blah, and this happened and this happened. If the sky was really red, after our conversation, wouldn't I want to be on the right side of things and know that the sky was really red and I was wrong by calling it blue? Or do I just want to stick by my opinion, so much so that I could still be wrong on the other side of that, but I'm just so resistant to being proven wrong that I'm not willing to learn the right thing myself? So have conviction with what you believe, but always be open to learning more about the concept to make sure that you know what you should know. That means having discussions with other people, engaging in compassionate conversation, open-minded conversation, and learning more about whatever it is, and just continue to grow. That's the underlying statement in almost all my videos. Just keep growing. So keep learning, keep growing. Don't worry about what other people think. I know, easier said than done. And be open to challenges and understanding what's right. Have a good day.